government to protect Michigan residents. Joining us now is the Attorney General of Michigan, Dana Nessel. Ms. Nessel, good to see you again. Thank you for being with us. It's kind of hard to believe. I mean, the last time you and I talked, we were talking about this plot to kidnap and possibly harm the governor of Michigan over COVID restrictions. And now Scott Atlas, who works for the president, tweeted something out that looks like a call to arms. It looks like something that feels like a veiled threat.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen this movie before. And it is just so predictable what we see out of the Trump administration, whether it's from him personally or from one of his advisors. They are so much more hurtful than they are helpful to us in this state. And I guess my parting wish to the Trump administration is this: please stop politicizing this virus. You are literally killing us. You're literally killing us. You're putting our public officials that are trying to do the best they can into danger and into harm's way. And what they're doing is they're creating an atmosphere of noncompliance, because when they hear one thing from their state government and something completely the opposite from their federal government, people don't know what to do. And so they don't comply with these very important life-saving orders.
Stanford University, where Scott Atlas is from, has now put out a statement distancing themselves from him, not only him, but the idea that he expresses views that are just not in keeping with an academic institution. He tweeted back. He said, hey, I never was talking about, I was never talking at all about violence. People vote. People peacefully protest. Never would I endorse or incite violence. Never. The vote's over for the moment. You have seen, not only have you seen protests in Michigan about masks and restrictions, you've seen heavily armed protests about this. This was a big discussion in the election about whether armed people can show up at voting centers so that they don't intimidate people. At this point, how are these restrictions going over in Michigan? Because you have got a group of people who are objecting to them and are being encouraged by the president and his people.
Well, here's the thing. I truly believe if we had a federal government that stood behind our governor, stood behind our director of Health and Human Services and said, hey, these are important orders and people need to abide by them. And if we all work together, whether you're Republican, Democratic, Independent, what have you, we can all help stop the spread of COVID. But instead, that's not what happens. We hear these adverse remarks coming from the Trump administration, and the state Republicans here follow that. Law enforcement comes out and says we're not going to enforce these orders, and then the general public just disregards them, and they're not helpful. So, I mean, I just can't wait till we have a federal administration that works together with our state government, and not just our state, but of course states all across America, in supporting what we have to do to make sure that we rid ourselves of this horrible virus before it kills, thousands and thousands of more people. I'm grateful that, of course, we have these vaccines on the way. But until then, we really need to work together. And these kinds of remarks, they're not just unhelpful, but they're dangerous and they're reckless.
As you recall, I was in Michigan the weekend right after those threats occurred. I didn't run into people, even the people who were voting for Donald Trump. They had just heard about this. They thought it was disgusting. They thought the attempt on kidnapping the governor was disgusting. They thought that the ability to protest wearing a mask or whatever the case is has its lines. Do you have problems with enforcements of existing restrictions in Michigan as a result of this kind of stuff?
Absolutely, we do. I mean, just look at the comments of our state legislators today. We had a number of Republicans who called for Governor Whitmer to be impeached because of that. I mean, what kind of message does that send? So we have widespread noncompliance around the state, specifically because of the lack of support that we get federally. And it creates this. And it's really unfortunate because, we really could do something to bring down the rates of infection in this state, but we can't do it this way. It's not going to work if we're not all working together.